here with Harrison Price at Spiritual Zoo Studios.
Yes.
Great to see you again, Harry.
How you doing, Alex?
Great. Spiritual Zoo.
Right.
And a few others got airplay. And I mean, it got a lot of club play in Northern California. And was that what the reunion was about? Or was it your other band, Gotham Chorus? Or was it Mnemonics? Because I know you were in a series of bands.
Well, the Mnemonics was before Gotham Chorus and Harrison Price.
That was the New Wave band.
That was the early 80s.
Okay, because I know you were in a series of bands.
Well, the Mnemonics was before Gotham Chorus and Harrison Price.
That was the New Wave band.
That was the early 80s.
Okay, oh, now it all comes back to me. You did that show with the features.
That's right.
You're the one who put that show together at Harlow's. Packed place. I mean, it was probably bigger than you thought it would be, right?
Harlow's, yeah, we weren't expecting almost 300 people. We thought 200 maybe. So we got, even the owner thought we weren't going to get 200, but we surprised everyone.
That was a fun night, and it brought a lot of people back. I mean, Mnemonics played, features, Tattooed Love Dogs, Deborah Ayal, who had the hits. When she was with Romeo Void in the 80s, a hit artist with modern rock hits.
Rhythm School also opened the show.
Okay, I guess
Sean Kelly.
Okay. And then this other reunion you did most recently with Gotham Chorus, you did that on your own, right?
Yes, just the one band, Harrison Price. That gig there was a reunion of the late 80s and early 90s crowd that would frequent DJ, dance club type stuff.
Like people who went to the Rage back in the 90s even?
Yeah, the Rage was the 90s.
Yeah. And then before that was Shark Club and all these other things.
I guess we could start at the beginning with some of those clubs. Dance Park was actually a pioneer in that type of music.
I don't remember Dance Park. Where was that?
It was in West Sacramento on West Capitol Boulevard, Avenue, whatever that is. It started in, I think, 1983. That's pretty early for Euro techno, that kind of synth pop type
Was
of
that
music.
where the scene was based for that sound back then?
That was the only spot in Sacramento where you could hear that kind of music. You'd hear it or dance to it or whatever. Or you would have to go to San Francisco and some select places.
Right. So now here we are in 2012, and the 80s seems like they're back, don't you think? I mean, that Gotham Chorus show, that drew a huge crowd, right? Bigger than they thought.
And again, we thought 150 people, 200. It's kind of a funny story because the Asylum is one of those types of clubs, plays synth pop, industrial gothic music, and so on. And it had been going every Sunday night, continuous for 18 years at Barcode. It was called in the end. It was the Rage before that, called the Asylum Night.
And they shut it down earlier this year, right?
Barcode actually closed on January 1 and moved it to the Park Ultra Lounge.
Right, owned by Mason Wong.
Right, Mason Wong, the Mason Wong family. So Asylum moved over there. Before it had moved, we had planned on doing it at the Barcode.
Okay.
And they had this little room that could fit a couple hundred people, and we thought, well, we can get 100 or 150 of our old friends to come and party with us. And then the Barcode shut down, and we were like, oh my God, we've done all this work.
Where are we going to do it now?
Yeah. So they let us do it at the Park Ultra Lounge still.
That's great.
We still thought 150, maybe 200. Well, we got something like 300 or 400 reunionites and a couple of hundred regulars. So
wow. And this was on a Sunday night.
So yeah, it surprised everybody that all of these people came out of the woodwork.
And because of that, you're going to do another one, right?
Not just because of that, because it was such a huge success. Everybody asked to do it again.
Really? Wow.
And they wanted to do it earlier and go later.
Sure.
They wanted to go home
So what is it about the 80s that makes it live on, especially with the synth pop?
I think we've thought about this a lot, and me and you've talked about it too, and you've actually given the main ideas about it early on. From 2000 going forward, there hasn't really been anything
Memorable?
There hasn't been any kind of a trend like there was in the
Right.
60s, the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Something that you could put your finger on and say,
Yeah.
that's what that decade was about.
And so because of that, even younger people now want to find something to identify to, and the 80s are exciting to a lot of younger people.
Well, like we talked, I think the 80s has a lot of variety that you don't find in the 2000s as far as like the pop world, you know, that maybe now with the indie thing getting big, yeah, you can find variety online, but as far as the mainstream culture, you know, it's kind of become templates of cookie cutter stuff that get redundant, and there's no sense of excitement of new stuff. It's the same genres that we've had for 20 years now. So, at least in the 80s, you could say, wow, there was new wave, and there was a sound, like the developing house sound that didn't exist in previous decades.
Right. Something new and exciting to clamp onto, something you hadn't ever heard before. And however, I think if you're 30 or in your 20s, the 80s sounds like something new.
It does sound new. It sounds more modern than the newer stuff. Well, let's talk about the show coming up. You have another reunion, a retro reunion.
September 1, 2012.
That's Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend. Like I said before, it was such a great success for everybody. They wanted to do it again, so immediately went over and talked to Dan over at Harlow's, and he, from the success we had with the features and mnemonics and all that reunion, he wanted to do it really bad this time again. So
great.
I think when we did it before there, he had come out and talked to me about the show, and he doesn't usually stick around for shows, but I asked him, why did you stick around from this one? And he's like, well, I love 80s music.
Everyone's saying that now.
I know. I mean, well, he's old enough to have lived through it.
That's right.
But I guess that's what he likes all the time now. So when I said we were doing another reunion from the 80s and 90s, he wanted to do it right away. He didn't want to miss out on it.
Awesome. So September 1st, 2012. Got it on my calendar. Well, good talking with you, Harrison Price, and we'll do
Thank
more
you very
of these
much,
interviews.
Alex.
You got it. Great memories.
Yeah.